Now at 11, an all-out effort to put out wildfires burning across Oregon. We have the latest on evacuations. Plus, the public speaking their mind when it comes to the future of Moda Center and funding its renovations.
You have 30 or 32 teams, and there's 50, 60, 70 cities that want these teams.
And later on, a breakdown of the shocking moments when two people jump off the Seattle Space Needle.
But it only took 1 or 2 seconds before I realized, oh my God, they're gonna jump.
And we start off tonight with breaking news out of Gresham. A pedestrian is dead after they were hit by a car this evening. It happened along Northeast 181st Avenue between Everett and Davis. Gresham police telling us the driver stayed at the scene and the department's vehicular crimes team is responding. We've reached out for more information. Northbound traffic on 181st is shut down at this time. Well, it's a very active day for the hundreds of firefighters across the state working to contain more than 100 active fires, with some people under evacuation orders. Among the latest developments, more than 60 miles of Highway 26 is closed down because of the Beachcomb and Bench fire burning in Jefferson County. The closure extends between Mount Hood and Madras. There are level 3 evacuations for much of the Warm Springs Reservation. We're also keeping our attention on the Akawa Butte fire burning north of Sisters. Fire officials today repeated what Governor Tina Kotek said yesterday, that this fire remains priority 1 in the nation right now as far as firefighting resources are concerned. All campfires are banned on public lands in Central Oregon as the Bureau of Land Management moves to state 2 fire restrictions. There are level 1, 2, and 3 evacuation orders in several counties, but in particular the town of Sisters north of the McKenzie Bend Highway. It's currently estimated at 26,000 acres, but a red flag warning is in effect through tonight. Well, the Red Cross now has a total of 6 shelters open in Oregon as the evacuation zones grow. The latest, South Wasco County High School in Maupin. Those in Warm Springs can go to the St. Patrick Catholic Church in Madras, and those evacuating in Sisters can go to the high school. They say they've helped out at least 50 people so far. And while firefighters are hard at work on the fire line, groups like the American Red Cross and Salvation Army in Sisters are helping out evacuees. The Salvation Army sharing these photos of their shelter in Sisters High School as they serve meals and snacks to those who have had to leave their homes. They also plan to serve lunch and dinner today. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Joe Renew right now to see what the conditions are like in central and eastern Oregon. Joe, any chance things improve anytime soon for folks there?
Well, just looking at the map, you could say some things are improving because the red flag warning throughout central Oregon has expired, but that doesn't mean the actual weather conditions are going to be improving. Still forecasting some windy conditions going into tomorrow. We still have that air quality alert up throughout the Mount Jefferson area, Madras, and throughout parts of the eastern side of the state until Monday. Meanwhile, down in the southern part of the state near Lakeview, red flag warning is in place until tomorrow at 7 o'clock. The recipe for wildfires is still going to be there the next couple of days. With that said, we'll still continue to see very thick smoke. You saw the smoke from the video from some of those wildfires burning. Well, this is what it's going to be looking like here the next couple of days. That smoke's not going to clear out anytime soon. If you're on the coast of the valley, really up and down the I-5 corridor, we're not going to have any issues with the smoke and haze, thankfully. But if you're spending any time along the east side of the state, that smoke will be evident here the next couple of days. Winds will be on the lighter side going into tomorrow, but gusts could be picking up by 20, 25 miles an hour at times going into tomorrow afternoon and to tomorrow night. Meanwhile, we'll be looking at a little more of the blue skies for your Sunday, but a little bit of some onshore flow will keep things cool and cloudy to start. I'll have a look at that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. New at 11, a community discussion held earlier today in Beaverton, in part to talk wildfire season and how to stay safe. But also the host of the event, Stand Strong Beaverton, wanted to discuss how climate change and the rollback of government regulations are impacting the fire season.
They are not standing up to big issues like the climate crisis today. In fact, they're actively making it worse. We've found that state level action has always been important for environmental protection, and Oregon has always been a leader and needs to continue to be.
With that, they not only spoke about these changes and their risks to Oregon, but also what people can do about it at the local and state level. We'll stay with KGW for ongoing coverage this wildfire season as dozens of fires continue to burn. Look for updates on KGW.com with the latest evacuations and progress toward containment. New here at 11, Longview and Cowlitz County firefighters spent much of the day putting out a large scrap metal fire. The initial reports came out before 1 this afternoon at P&W Metals on International Way. Homes and businesses in the surrounding neighborhoods were told to keep doors and windows shut and avoid breathing in any smoke. Emergency managers say those in smoky areas should shelter in place. An update now on a hit and run investigation in Washington County. Sheriff's deputies have found and arrested and criminally cited the driver. It happened around 4 Friday afternoon at Northwest West Union Road in Nicaney Avenue in Rock Creek. The victim, a 74-year-old man, was on a bicycle and was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. The sheriff's office says they've also seized the vehicle involved in the crash, but the investigation is ongoing. In Portland, police are asking people to share what they know about a crash involving 2 motorcycles. It left both riders with critical injuries, one in life-threatening condition. It happened sometime before 11:15 last night at St. Helens Road and Northwest Front Avenue. The Police Bureau's Major Crimes Team is investigating. The Linn County Sheriff's Office is assisting in recovery efforts after a hiker fell on Mount Jefferson. The reports first came around 11:30 yesterday from 2 climbers who reported seeing a 3rd climber fall down the west side of the summit. The Sheriff's Office has since identified him as Jared Impey, an experienced climber from Idaho, attempting a solo summit. Based on witness accounts, Impey could not have survived the fall. The debate continues over the future of the Moda Center and the Portland Trailblazers. Ahead of the August 12th vote on the Moda Center term sheet, a few Portland city councilors held a town hall this afternoon to hear residents' thoughts on what they should do. RJ Coulter was at that meeting and brings us a look at what people said there.
I don't want to live in a city that doesn't have enough major league sports.
Portland Trailblazers are mulling over a first draft term sheet for the $573 million publicly funded Moda Center renovation and upgrade. And resident Lance Welch wants to see them agree to keep the Blazers home.
I just hope cooler heads will prevail.
But other residents think the Blazers are being unreasonable.
Tom Dundon and billionaires like him have to stop holding cities like Portland hostage so that they can make a few extra $1 million every year.
Chris Olson would like to see more of a public-private partnership.
I think it's a good idea to put some funds into the Moda Center, but it can't just be all of our money.
Resident Amber Cook agrees.
To me, shameless to ask us to do all the money when they're the ones that are going to be making the vast majority of the money. So I don't think that's right. So they should at least be putting in a fair amount of money, and we should be getting something back for our money as well.
I mean, I don't want to just write a blank check either, but I think we're going to get out with him paying a part of this. I mean, we're the owner of the property.
Portland bought the Moda in 2024 for $1.
Why, after 28 years, I think it's time to update your house. If you're going to be continuing to expect to have the same level of tenants, if not, then you become a second-tier sort of house.
The Blazers have confirmed that they are reviewing this term sheet.
That was our Jay Coulter reporting. The council will revisit the term sheet on August 5th. That's 1 week before the August 12th deadline. In Northeast Portland, multiple crews were called but ultimately not needed for a kitchen fire in a high-rise apartment building. It happened just after 1:30 this afternoon on East Burnside between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. Firefighters escalated the call after seeing smoke billowing from a 14th floor window.
They almost always will call for a second alarm right away. It's good to have crews here when you need them, not have to wait. There were some limitations with getting to this building. There's just the access to it is kind of difficult.
Portland Fire and Rescue says the fire was caused by something left on the stove that caught fire. The building sprinkler system had already put out most of it by the time crews got on scene. One person was treated at the scene for smoke inhalation. Washington County Sheriff's deputies today arrested a man for allegedly drunk driving after he crashed his car into the living room of an apartment. A 12-year-old girl was inside at the time. Fortunately, she was not hurt.